Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. Today I have two easy summer dessert recipes for you. These would be perfect for July 4th, Labor Day, Memorial Day, or really just any get-together. Let's get into these recipes. First up, I'm making a banana split pie. A banana split pie and banana pudding are probably tied for my favorite desserts. This is really delicious. Let me show you the ingredients that you'll need. First, you'll need a graham cracker pie crust. You can, of course, make your own, or just to make it easy, I just purchased one. You'll need cream cheese, some maraschino cherries, crushed peanuts, some Cool Whip or whipped topping, crushed pineapple, some bananas, of course, and then powdered sugar. You can also use some strawberries in this. You could do some chocolate syrup. Use whatever you like on your banana splits. I will include the link for this recipe in the description box below. It does make a 9x13, which is perfect if you're taking this to a potluck or get-together, or if you're having a get-together, but you can also half the recipe, which is what I'm doing here, and if you half the recipe, it makes a 9-inch pie crust. So in this mixing bowl, I'm going to add in the cream cheese. This has been softened. I'm going to add in the powdered sugar, and then I'm going to beat this until it's well combined and until it's nice and fluffy. Next, I'm going to take that mixture and place it into my pie crust. I'm then going to spread it out evenly. Next, I'm going to take the bananas, peel them, and then cut them into slices. And I don't believe the recipe says to do the next step, but I would suggest doing it as it helps the bananas not brown as quickly. I'm going to take the slices of banana, place them into a small bowl, and add just a little bit of the pineapple juice from that crushed pineapple. Toss that around, and then I'm going to add the bananas to the cream cheese layer, and you just want to spread the banana slices out into an even layer. I've drained the crushed pineapple really well, and you want to make sure you drain it as well as you can to get as much of that juice off as possible. I'm going to spread that out into an even layer. Then I'm going to take the whipped topping. This is thawed, and I'm going to add a layer of the whipped topping. Then I'm going to cover this and place this into the freezer for an hour or two until it is set up. I like to add my toppings just before serving, but you can go ahead and add them before you place this into the freezer. Either way works. I'm going to add some chocolate syrup, and then for the peanuts, I just like to place them into a little Ziploc bag and then just go at it with my meat tenderizer until they're nice and crushed. If you don't like peanuts, if you don't have them, or if you have someone who's allergic, you can just leave those off. And then that's it. It's ready to go. Like I said, you can use whatever you'd like, caramel sauce or strawberry sauce. I am going to add some maraschino cherries as I cut them and serve them, and this is it. This is really yummy. I highly recommend you give this recipe a try. Next up is this Chantilly cake. I'll again include the recipe in the description box below for this. Publix has a Chantilly cake, and it's really, really good. And when I came across this recipe on Pinterest and I saw that it was like a kind of a copycat recipe of theirs, I was like, yes, I have to try this. So I made this for Father's Day, and we all really enjoyed it. Let me show you the ingredients that you'll need. You'll need some strawberry preserves or jam, whichever you prefer. I believe the recipe also calls for raspberry, but I didn't have any raspberries, so I just used all strawberry. You'll need powdered sugar, some milk. The recipe recommends whole milk. I just had some of this 2%, so that's what I used. Some heavy whipping cream. You'll need some sort of cooking spray, baking spray, or butter to butter your pan. A classic white cake mix. You'll need some vanilla extract, almond extract, some mascarpone cheese, and this was the first time I ever cooked with this, and we enjoyed it. You'll need some cream cheese that has been softened. You'll need eggs, and then you'll need some berries for garnish. You could use really whatever your favorite berries are. I'm using strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries. Raspberries would also be good with this. I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. Now, don't be intimidated by this recipe. It is a couple different steps, but these steps are really, really easy. So I promise you, you can absolutely do this. You're basically just doctoring up a cake mix. In this bowl, I have some butter. I've melted it, and then I've let it cool slightly. I'm then going to add in my box of cake mix, and then the milk, and then the eggs, and then I am going to beat this for about 2 minutes or until the batter is nice and smooth. I'm then going to place my batter into a greased baking dish. I'm using a 9 by 13 here. You could do that. You could also bake these into round layers. That would be good as well. Then I'm going to place this into the oven and bake this for about 20 to 30 minutes. It just depends on your oven, and it also really depends on the size of baking dish and the kind of baking dish that you use. So if you use a glass baking dish, it might take a little bit longer, but you just want to bake this until a toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. Once my cake was done, I let it cool slightly for about 10 minutes. And then in this bowl here, I have my strawberry preserves. I've microwaved this for about 45 seconds until it's a little bit runny. And I'm going to pour that over the cake, and using the spoon, I'm just going to spread that out. And then I'm going to allow this to cool completely. Next, we're going to make a whipped cream. In this mixing bowl, I'm going to add in the cream, the vanilla extract, and the almond extract, and then I'm going to whip that until it reaches stiff peaks. Once the whipped cream was done, I moved it to a separate bowl and set it aside for a few moments. And in this same mixing bowl, I'm going to add in the softened cream cheese, then the mascarpone cheese. And like I said, I hadn't used this before, but we enjoyed it. And I was worried I wouldn't be able to find this, but I just found it at my local Walmart doing grocery pickup. Then I'm going to add the powdered sugar and beat this until it's nice and smooth. Next, I'm going to fold my whipped cream gently into the cream cheese mixture, and you want to do this, like I said, gently. You want to make sure that it's well combined, but you also don't want to overbeat it and take out all of the air that you just put into the whipped cream. So as soon as you don't see any more streaks of either whipped cream or the cream cheese mixture, go ahead and stop. Then I'm going to take that whipped cream cheese mixture and place this on top of the cake. Now, I will say this. I did this as a 9 by 13, like I said, and I had a lot of icing left. So if you're doing a 9 by 13, you might want to cut back on the icing a little bit, maybe cut it in half. We really did have a lot left over. If you're doing a layered cake, though, I would say go ahead and make the full amount of the icing for this recipe. Now, the recipe then says to place the berries on top and then refrigerate this. I decided to go ahead and refrigerate it after I iced it. I made this the day before Father's Day, so I placed this into the refrigerator and allowed it to cool overnight. And then right before serving on Father's Day, I added my berries. And there's really no rhyme or reason to this. You can just add them as you see. The OCD in me couldn't stand this first row of strawberries being the opposite direction of the other ones. I am not a decorator, but I just placed the strawberries and the other berries on there as best as I could. And then that's it. It's ready to serve. And you want to make sure that you keep this chilled. But this was really delicious. It was so good. The icing, my dad and my little sister thought that it tasted like cheesecake. And I have to agree, it kind of did taste like cheesecake. But I recommend you give this a try. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.